Interviews with business owners and veteran executives who share their wisdom and expertise to help you de-stress, free up time, and make more money. Profits of IT. Welcome back to the Profits of IT. I am Jim Punzenberger, your host and the creator of the Managed Prospecting System. If you're looking to generate leads and appointments without cold calling, ad spend, or spamming, check out managedprospectingsystem.com. Today I have Robert Wilcox with me. Robert, please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about the company you work for, Aerospike.
Hi, I'm Robert Wilcox. I'm currently a Global Channels Director with Aerospike, and Aerospike is a big data platform that runs very fast big data in real time. So it's meant for big data applications and connections to big data that need to run in real or in near real time.
Got it. And so what's something interesting about yourself outside of work?
Other than being a husband and a dad of two young kids, I really enjoy martial arts. So I spend a lot of time, training and or being around martial arts people. And other than that, we, as a family, love to go to the beach, and we love to hike.
Cool. So how old are your children?
I have an 8-year-old and an 11-year-old.
Cool. I bet they keep you busy.
Yes, they do.
Got it. So when it comes to business, what would you say is your superpower, and what can others learn from that, and how can they apply that in their own lives, their own careers, their own businesses, etc.?
Yeah, I hate to think of myself as having a superpower, but I am a facilitator. I think that people like to work with people or buy from people that they trust and they like. I learned that at a very young point in my career. And, so I do have a very relationship-centric approach to business, whether we're having a super technical conversation or a business conversation. I like to understand what other people's objectives are, what their company objectives are, and make sure that we map a solution to that, whether that be a technical solution and or, business terms that we might be negotiating at that time.
Cool. Got it. So if I want to get better at, the relationships, and then I guess it sounds like communicating with people, whether they be technical or non-technical, is what I got from that. Also, do you have any tips for improving my skills in those areas?
I think one of the basic 101s that we hear over and over again, but a lot of people, it's hard for us, is to really listen. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Really try to sit down, ask questions, and get to know not just the person and their role, but the person themselves, and find out what their personal objectives are, and also, specifically what their objectives are for the role that you're dealing with if you're working in a business situation. So I think getting to know people, but and not just asking questions and letting them go in one ear and out the other, but really understanding who a person is or a group of people are that you're working with, so that you can work with them effectively.
What else is important to know?
I think that the other aspect of business is, really understand your value and your product's value, and to be able to, articulate that to your audience effectively. And I think part of that is, before you listen, doing research on a company that you're going to be presenting to, and or the people that you're going to be talking to. Today with LinkedIn and other tools, you can do a lot of research to, really get to the point and use time effectively, because everybody's time is precious, and they appreciate that.
Got it. So what else should I know about this? If I know, or what other tips for fellow executives in the industry regarding this?
Well, I think the third thing that I would add is collaboration with a team. Even if you have one person on your team or 10 people on your team, really holding up the standard of being a servant leader is what I would say. A lot of times, when we're the quarterback or the coach, we need to not be so didactic, but use your teammates effectively and let them shine in what they do, whether they be technical or maybe on the business side of things, able to communicate a solution. Really hold people up to a standard of excellence, but do it in a way that makes them feel good and makes it a positive approach to what you're trying to accomplish.
Got it. So any other thoughts about this?
I think last, is when you're in a business environment, I would say this goes back to just putting yourself in someone else's shoes, right? Everybody's working, 8 hours plus a day. Everybody's going to have different things going on in their lives. And if you understand some of those nuances, when to say no, when to say yes, potentially when to be very proactive, you need to keep your pulse on, or keep your hands on the pulse of, the business discussion that you're under, or, a personal discussion that you're in.
Got it. Any thoughts, last thoughts regarding this subject?
Not particularly, no.
All right. So elevator pitch for Aerospike. So you deal with partners, and specifically, it sounds like who would be a great partner for you guys, and why should they partner with you?
Yeah. So again, what Aerospike does is we're a database platform that can run hundreds of terabytes as in the cache. But we're also, because of our hybrid memory architecture, we can be a system of record into the tens of petabytes. So anytime a company or a product needs something to scale, speed at scale for real-time applications or near real-time applications, they should consider Aerospike as a database platform. One of our premier customers is PayPal, and they use us as the heart of their fraud strategy. So anytime there's a PayPal transaction going, that is flowing through Aerospike in real time so that decisions can be made on those transactions while they're in flight. And PayPal has done a tremendous job using Aerospike in that they had SLAs that were in the tens of milliseconds, and we shrunk those down even further.
Wow.
Because of how fast Aerospike can run. And basically, we gave them more time within their SLA window to do more. And what PayPal decided to do, and what other customers decide to do, is say, well, this database platform can handle big data, but let's put even more data into that window. Or let's move our AI functionality closer to the edge so that AI can also run in near real time. And this is a game changer for financial services, for telecom, for healthcare, as well as especially ad tech and retail, which is where some of our roots are. The product is designed for speed at scale, and it never goes down. So it's very resilient and very reliable.
Sounds like an amazing product.
Yeah, it is. And, in fact, a lot of times we have folks that don't believe things that we necessarily say up front. So we tend to do proof of concepts and benchmarks to show the product can do what we say it does with their data at scale. And in fact, we end up begging some customers to use more data and to push it harder. And I've been in the database industry since 1996. To age myself a little bit. And I've never seen a database platform perform this well with this amount of data this fast.
Sounds like a great product. I mean, I've used PayPal or used PayPal myself, and it's amazing how you can click the button to buy or to send money or whatever it is, and instantaneously it seems like it does the transaction. But really, it sounds like in the behind the scenes, it's there's a lot going on there to prevent fraud and other things.
If you want to hear an interesting nuance to that story too, before Aerospike, if a transaction was in flight for a certain amount of time and it took too long, PayPal would let that transaction go through, whether it was fraudulent or not. So you get a buffer of millions of dollars of fraud that actually leaks through. Now with Aerospike, they've shrunk that to under it's like under $1 million that goes through on a daily basis, whereas before it was over $7 million that could potentially be fraudulent. Yeah. So we've taken down the false positives by like 30x because of the amount of speed, and because they were able to bring in more data with AI. They're also able to cut costs in multiple layers of their business because of that.
Yeah, it's amazing. I can remember in the past, well, like using credit card, for example, in the past I would purchase in the past life I used to build custom PCs as a business. And so I was buying stuff online all the time, and then it would be a regular basis of the transactions getting denied because of, and now I'm not doing the same things, but it's hardly there's a lot fewer false positives. I definitely see that in the making my own transactions online. So. Anyways, if somebody was wanting to get a hold of you, how would be a good way to do that?
Oh, the best way to reach me is, R Wilcox, RWILCOX at aerospike.com. That's AEROSPIKE.com. And that's probably the best way to get a hold of me.
Great. So email you rwilcox at aerospike.com. Well, thank you for your time here today and for sharing.
Yep, thank you.
Appreciate that. And until next time on the Profits of IT, I'm Jim Punzenberger, your host, and the creator of the Managed Prospecting System. Check out managedprospectingsystem.com. Bye for now.
Thank you for tuning in to the Profits of IT. Please smash that like button, subscribe, and share.